Hello, my name is Sarah May, and I'm going to talk about implementing best practices. As an assistive technology specialist, I work with people every day who need to achieve a goal through the use of assistive technology. Training people to use technology can be really challenging, especially for those people who aren't particularly comfortable with technology. Choosing best practices, practice number 2, information. Instructions need to be explicitly explained. I find this practice to be very important because some of my clients might have cognitive disabilities that might impair their ability to understand the directions I'm trying to give them if they're very complicated. Providing my clients with the explicit instructions, whether that be verbally or visually or modeling, helps to ensure their success in actually using the piece of technology. Best practice number 4. Practice opportunities should be frequent and should occur within a relatively low-risk environment. I think this is a great practice because it's also low stress when it's low risk. So if I'm training someone on how to use a communication device, they're not doing it directly in front of a conversation partner. They're doing it in front of me enough times to where they feel comfortable, and then they can move on and use it in the community. Best practice number 7. Just-in-time learning opportunities should be provided exactly when users need to learn the information. I find this one to be very helpful. A lot of times I will give someone a device, I'll tell them a little bit about it, and then I'll watch them try to go to do something with it, and I'll actually let them struggle for a minute to try and figure it out, but then I like to provide the solution, and that way it kind of sticks a little bit more, because then when they go back to do the same thing later, they're like, oh yeah, this is how she showed me to do it. So just-in-time learning is very important for my consumers and in my career. Best practice number 12, difficulty. Whether and how the difficulty of learning increases should depend on the learner's performance. I highly believe in this one. Some of the technology that I implement can be unsafe, and it can be very complicated. So we don't want to move on to a higher level if the individual isn't ready to function at that level. And not only because it could become unsafe, but it can also be very frustrating for the individual as well. Best practice number 14, usability. Ensure that the materials, tools, and interface presented to the learners are usable, readable, and playable, and that the experience remains positive for users. This is extremely important because I work in the realm of accessibility, so it's very important to make sure that the information is relevant to what the person's trying to do, that they can access it. So if they have a reading disability, that we give them audio instructions and materials, and just thinking about all those different things that are unique to the user to make sure that it is accessible to them. Yes, definitely the most important part of the job. And another quick thing to add is if it's not accessible and relevant to the learner, then it is very counterproductive and a waste of pretty much everyone's time. Best practice number 18, applied knowledge. Learners should be given opportunities to apply their knowledge in meaningful ways. This is really important for my consumers because most of the time when I'm working with my clients, it's to help them do something that they can't currently do, and they need a piece of specialized equipment to help them do this. And I typically see this when people are going to school or when they're in a work environment. Sometimes people need adaptive keyboards or special equipment just to do their jobs. So applied knowledge is very important. Thank you very much.